Witnessing the funerals of my students is one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, and I never want to be in that position again.
Being employed as a teacher in a small community, about 1,300 people, and in that community, 7 young people commit suicide in a year. 7 out of 1,300 is around 0.5%. Let me bring this closer home. 0.5%, if you consider the population of Kenya, that is like losing 270,000 people in a year to suicide. Do you know how big that number is? That is like losing the entire Isiolo County to suicide in 1 year. Do you get the pain? Do you get the pain in Maggie's heart? This is the story of Maggie.
Whenever I'm working with young people, my goal is to be able to give them the tools that they need to be masters of their own destiny. My name is Maggie MacDonnell, and I'm a teacher working in Salluit, Nunavik, Canada. The definition of a teacher here is a lot more broad than it might be if you were a teacher in Toronto or Halifax or Montreal. In an Inuit community, you have this privilege of being able to build these very authentic relationships with your students and with the community.
A lot of young people go and talk to her because they have trust on her. So I think she's a very precious person to the community.
Do you remember the dates, Alana? The majority of the challenges that Salluit faces are rooted in the colonial history, and as a result now, youth on a daily basis face a lot of trauma in the community. Currently, many activists consider that the region of Nunavik to be in a suicide crisis right now. Witnessing the funerals of my students is one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, and I never want to be in that position again.
And this was not just about suicide. As you saw, it is a very cold place, and so, and by the way, during winter it goes to up to negative 25 degrees, very cold. But this was not just about winter and suicide. 50% of the students were never graduating. On any single day, less than a quarter of students were turning up. The average stay for a teacher was 6 months. 70% of the families had substance abuse problems. And the next mental health facility was 1,000 miles away. Do you get the nature or the magnitude of the crisis? And so as other teachers were leaving and other teachers just minding their own business, we call it teach and go home, right? Maggie asked, how have these people survived? For all those years, how have they survived? And so instead of imposing a solution on the community, what she did is that she took time to study how they have survived. So she interviewed, I think, 30, 40 elders to learn how have these communities survived, especially in this kind of cold weather. She learned 2 main things. One, the community had a very vibrant kayaking tradition, which had died. Number 2, there were social places for women to meet and talk and have fun, which had since been kind of forgotten. So what did she do? Number 1, she got funding to revive the kayaking experience. But what she did, even more importantly, was she started physical activities for the young people. And so she started morning runs. And this also came in to bridge the gap. You remember you said that women never had their social places. And so the runs became very, very, very powerful. Please listen to this.
I've always been so passionate about sport and physical activity as a tool to build resilience in young people. I've had youth who've joined the running club. They've actually quit smoking cigarettes. Some have quit smoking marijuana. Some have even come back to school. I've even had youth come to me and tell me when they were going through a very troubled time, when they were having suicidal thoughts, that they were able to use exercise and running as a coping tool to deal with that. As an educator, I build programs that cultivate resilience, hope, and build self-belief in my students. These tools come together to combat suicidal thoughts. I'm very lucky to be teaching in a project-based classroom, so I have a lot of freedom. This year I've really focused a lot on art-based projects because I find it's particularly therapeutic for them to express themselves in those means. Lastly, a very important project that we've been doing for the last 4 years is a project I call Students Feeding Students. In this project, my students every day create a healthy snack for the entire school body. The students are coming in with a lot of baggage. They've been in criminal trouble, known for vandalism, they're known for dropping out of school, they're known for bullying. So I'm trying to create projects for them to contribute to the community in really meaningful ways.
Maggie is really an expert at having a more open learning environment. I've seen the students go from one of the students that maybe caused the most trouble in the school to the student that helped the school out the most and is now an employee at the school. So Maggie's open approach to education, I feel, can really motivate kids that have difficult home lives.
I'm also very proud of the cooperative work placement at the daycare. It is a mutually beneficial partnership.
My daycare would not run without Maggie and her fantastic girls. We are training them to be future leaders for the daycare, and hopefully they will take over.
And so what happened? The school attendance shot from 30 to 70%, just mind it, 30 to 70%. The suicide rate dropped. And you know what? The world noticed. And in 2017,
...2017 Global Teacher Prize. And for that, we can now go 80 miles up in the air to announce the winner from the space station.
Good evening, Dubai. It's an honor, really, to be speaking to you from the International Space Station. When I look out the window, I can see planet Earth, a tiny blue marble in the dark. It seems so fragile. Anyone who has seen this view will tell you that we are citizens of one world. All of the human journey, from the invention of the wheel to the launch of the space station, it all happened on Earth. It's our only home. And none of these giant leaps would have been possible without teachers. So I'd like to be the first person in history to thank all the world's teachers from space. Now, it is my great privilege to announce the winner of the Global Teacher Prize 2017. The winner of the Global Teacher Prize 2017 is Maggie MacDonnell. Congratulations, Maggie. At least once a day, as we orbit the Earth, I get a view of the Canadian Arctic where you teach. You should see how beautiful it looks from 220 miles up.
I'm gonna say teachers, you're gonna say matter. Got it? 3 times, okay? Teachers! Matter! Teachers! Matter! Teachers! Matter! My dream is that I can work with my students to establish an environmental stewardship program and help Inuit youth reconnect with many of their
cultural trend.
And so, what are we saying? We are not saying we must win. We may, but we are not saying we must. But what we are saying is, the situation of the Maggie situation is very different because of the challenges of that environment. But I think there are two main things which we learn. Number one, wherever you are as a teacher and wherever I am as a teacher, I'm there for a certain purpose. Find it and be of service there. Remember, we do not decide our purpose, we discover it. So discover why you are there and be of service there. Number two, before you impose a solution to anybody or any situation, please try and find out how have they survived, how have they worked, what has worked for them. And this is very important because when you honor people, when you honor what people bring, you unlock what they can be.